Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. We welcome you for our online class. We have already seen in chapter 3 theories standard 12 subject economics lesson 3 theories of employment and income. In this, we have completed learning about introduction, meaning of full employment, meaning of unemployment, and types of unemployment. And in types of unemployment, we have completed cyclical unemployment, seasonal unemployment, frictional unemployment, educated unemployment, technical unemployment, structural unemployment, and disguised unemployment. Today, now, we are going to study study about classical theory of unemployment introduction. Before we go to this, what is classical theory of unemployment we should know, and classism fully we should know, and we should know about modernism. The two persons are very important in this lesson. One is J.B. Sale, who is a classical economist, which I have already told you yesterday, and J.M. Keynes, who is a modern economist. So, let us see the introduction first. Classical theory was developed by David Ricardo, J.S. Mill, J.B. Say, and A.C. Pigou. Classical economists assumed that the economy operates at the level of full employment without inflation in the long period. They also assumed that wages and prices of goods were flexible and the competitive market existed in the economy. That is, laissez-faire economy. Let us see the comparison of classism and Keynesianism. Before going to the classism, as I said, and I have told you about classism, J.B. Say is very important, and the Keynesianism, J.M. Keynes is very important. These two persons, economists, are very important in this lesson. J.B. says a full name is J.B. Expansion of J.B. is Jean Baptiste. These are all the important economists of classical economics. They are the developers of classical economics. There was no single theory which could be labeled as classical theory of employment. The classical theory of employment is composed of different views of classical economists on the issue of income and employment in the economy. Adam Smith wrote the book An Inquiry into the Nature and causes of wealth of nations in the year 1776. Since the publication of this book, the classical theory was developed by number one, David Ricardo, number two, J.S. Mill, number three, J.B. Say, and number four, A.C. Piggy. According to J.B. Say, when goods are produced by firms in the economy, they pay reward to the factors of production. The households, after receiving rewards of the factors of production, spend the amount on the purchase of goods and services produced by them. Therefore, each product produced in the economy creates demand equal to its in the value in the market. That is, he says that supply creates its own demand. Let us see about him. JB says laws of market. Says laws of market is the core of the classical theory of employment. JB says here is 1776 to 1832. He is a French economist and he is an industrialist. He was influenced by the writings of Adam Smith. Out of four economists I have told, J.B. Say plays an important role in bringing out classism. He was influenced by the writings of Adam Smith and David Ricardo. David Ricardo speech was heard and theories were seen by J.B. Say. J.B. Say enunciated the proposition of that supply creates its own demand. His law is supply creates its own demand. Hence, there cannot be general overproduction or problem of employment in the economy. He is given a clear cut information about the classical theory. He is a French economist. He has given more important for classical theory of employment. He says that supply creates its own demand, and he says that as there cannot be general overproduction or the problem of unemployment in the economy. JB says the laws of market continues. There are so many points which I have given in short. The classical theory explains that a person who receives his income from the production which is spent on the purchase of goods and services produced by the others. Next, for the economy as a whole, therefore, production equals total income. Now, see the diagram. JB says law, which has been given in two diagrams. See, lemonade of 5 cents, supply creates its own demand. His Tom makes and sells lemonade. Okay, sells is nothing but supplies. Just see, Tom earns money from the sale of lemonade. Okay, again, he is going on spending the same amount, that money, in so many things. That is how he is buying, what he is buying, and then how he is preparing. So the demand will be there for the same products he is going on thinking. That means always lemonade will will be asked by the people. That's what he is thinking. Supply, as soon as you are supplying, the demand will be going on increasing for the supply. He says supply creates its own demand, he is telling, but it is not applicable in practical. Okay. Supply of goods and services. Just see the second diagram. Supply of goods and services, it is income. Again, that amount he is spending demanded for what is demanded by the people for goods and services he is. So it is in the circulation only. He cannot get more profit in that. What he is supplying, the same he is getting the amount. Again, he has to spend for preparing the things. That is, his law is supply creates its own demand, which is not practical in our life. In short, JB says that the theory explains that for us, a person receives his income from the production of goods and services produced by others for the economy as a whole. Therefore, total production equals total income. I have given this points twice before the diagram and after the diagram so that it will be registered for you. Exonate and exposed in says law. What is telling in the law? The statement that supply creates own demand or equality, that the aggregate investment equals the aggregate saving, always holds good in the exposed sense, since it is simply an accounting identity. Say's law of markets, however, states that these two are equal in excellent sense. That is, the total quality which people produce, that is, the aggregate supply must be equal to the total quantity which they plan to buy, that is, aggregate demand. Okay? What are the assumptions of says laws of market? There are so many assumptions. If I say there are 12 points of this, let us see one by one. No single buyer or commodity or an input can affect price. Second one, full employment. Third one, people are motivated by self-interest, and self-interest determines the economic decisions. The laissez-faire policy, fourth one, essential for an automatic and self-adjusting process. He says, JB says it will be automatically adjusting process of full employment equilibrium. Market forces determine everything right, which is not at all practical in our life. Everyone wants to earn profit, whatever the products they are producing. Self adjusting is very, very difficult for everybody. Now, fifth point. There will be a perfect competition in labor and product market. These are all the assumptions of says law, which is not at all applicable, which is not at all in practical life, does not apply. Next, seventh one, there is wage and price flexibility. Next one, money acts only as a medium of exchange, and he says that it is a long run analysis. Yes, we can agree with that. It is in long run. It will take much time for the people to earn more in long run, but each and everyone will be ready to get the profit as soon as they are investing. that is within 6 months, within a month, within a year, they wanted to gain a profit. But it will take, these are all the assumptions of JBC. There is no possibility for overproduction and unemployment. In this point, I wanted to say sometimes if it is over, he says that it is an assumption. Yes, we agree. But sometimes, do you think that all the people will be buying the same product for same time? It will vary from season to season, time to time, and according to the situation of the country, right? So there is no possibility for overproduction or unemployment. This is also not applicable. He is assuming that if all these things are there, then say JB says law is applicable. Okay, and he says no government intervention. Nowadays, in first lesson, we have seen already capitalism, socialism, and a mixedism. Yes, individuals are all there, and that is called capitalism, and socialism, which is fully taken over by the government, that is there, and mixedism, both capital individuals and the government join together and do the joint venture. That is also there. But nowhere government intervention will be there, we cannot say, because it is in further lessons we are going to talk about the government intervention in detail. Okay, so it is his assumption. Unutilized resources used until reaches full employment. He says that unutilized resources are used till we reaches the full employment. Interest rate flexibility leads to saving investment equality. Interest rate, yes, this one we can agree. Rate will be always flexible. That is, whether it will be increasing, whether it will be decreasing, will not be knowing in what time it will be increasing and at what time it will be decreasing. So he says that it leads to saving. That is also his assumption. So far, we have seen all the 12 assumptions of the sales law of market. Let us see the implications of sales law. There is no possibility for overproduction or unemployment. That is very, very important implication. While you are implementing, then only you will come to know what all the things to be added or not added. As we have seen in 11th, 12th standard, the second lesson, national income, uh, what all to be added, income should be added and what income should not be added. For example, double counting, transfer of payments, etc. So likewise, unless otherwise we implement something, we come to know what is going on in this implications of sales law. So he says there is no possibility for overproduction and employment. Second, if there exist unutilized resources in the economy, it is profitable to employ them up to the point of full employment. That point. An automatic price mechanism operates in the economy. And there is no need for government intervention. Fourth point. Interest flexibility brings about the equality between the savings and the investment. Last point. Money performs only a medium of exchange function in the economy as the people will not hold the idle money. As he was going on giving his assumptions and implications, there are certain people who were criticizing Say's law. Let us see the criticism which was given by others for Say's law. The following are the criticisms against Say's law. According to Keynes is telling, supply does not create its own demand. He is criticizing Say's law by telling supply does not create its own demand. It is not applicable where demand does not increase as much as production increases. If the production is going on increasing, Keynes says that demand will not increase because it is interest of the people to buy for the same. Second point, automatic adjustment process will not remove unemployment. Unemployment can be removed by increase in the rate of investment. As soon as we are investing, it has to be increased. That's what Jenkins wants to say. Third point, money is not neutral. Individuals hold money for unexpected expenditures, while businessmen keep the cash reserve for future activities. According to Keynes, I think we know these all three motives. Yes, transaction motive, speculative motive, and what is another one? Three, transaction, speculative, and anyone can give. Transaction motive is nothing but no one is giving the answer.
Because
Yes, transaction motive, precautionary motive, and I am unable to hear the answer very well. Transaction motive, precautionary motive, and speculative motive. So he is bringing that
speculate.
point in third one. Next point. Say's law is based on supply creates its own demand and there is no overproduction. He said that overproduction is possible. Yes, he says that production is possible. But first point he says that demand will not be there for the overproduction. So he is differentiated in this point. Next point, Keynes regards full employment as a special case because there is underemployment in capitalist economies. Last point, the need for state intervention arises in the case of general overproductions and a mass employment. There is definitely state intervention will be there. No government will allow the people to go ahead with their profits. So definitely state intervention will be there. That is his theory. So I wanted to conclude that JB says laws of market theories and his assumptions and the implications were criticized by J.M. Keynes in his 6 points. Okay, children, thank you. Have a nice day.